These students from the Kingston Anglican Primary School were elated to be on the airport site, and they did not hide it. First, we took them to see the petroglyphs, which are soon to be removed from the site, and gave them a short history lesson as well.
Yeah, we discovered a lot of artifacts, skeletons and stuff that told us that people lived in this area for around 2,000, maybe more than 2,000 years, so that we had early settlements in this area. When the Arawaks left, we had the Caribs who came, and they also lived in the Argyle area, closer to the sea, right, just above the Argyle River there. And from the Caribs, we had the Garifuna, etc., etc. And then later on, we had the Indians who came in and also lived in this area. So Argyle is rich in history. One of the things that we discovered were these petroglyphs, right? We knew they were here all the time, but those who discovered them were the petroglyphs. And the belief is that they were used as some form of communication between the Garifuna. What they're saying, we don't know, because we have not yet found anyone who could interpret these. But they're thought to be so important to our history that they need to be preserved. And that's what we are trying to do. Earlier this year, we had a group of archaeologists from Egypt who came in, took a look at them to see if they can be removed and relocated to another area up in that part of Argyle Yambu. Now, in a lot of areas across the world, you have petroglyphs, and they form part of the heritage and part of heritage sites for those countries. They attract a lot of tourists because people are interested in them. And because it is such a historic thing for St. Vincent, we, the International Airport Development Company, don't want to destroy them. So we're doing everything we can, including helping to fund the program for the National Trust, to see if they can remove these and safely relocate them in what would soon be a heritage park, a national heritage park, up in that area of Yambu. The site has, the land has already been purchased. The National Trust has the site up there. We had some industrial archaeologists who came in just about a month or maybe a month and a half ago and did some work up there to see what they can do with the old sugar mill ruins up there so that they can start restoring parts of it. So that's what we are trying to do here. In addition to this being rich in history for St. Vincent as a whole, it is also rich in history for the Roman Catholics who made this their pilgrimage ground for many years. The Catholics have been here for about 200 years, and they've been coming to this site where they had the shrine of the Virgin Mary in what looks like a little house up there, right? They have since removed her because they know that these stones will have to come down because they're right in the path of the runway fence. They're resting on the western end of the runway fence, and so we'll have to remove all of these stones. So they have already removed their shrine, that's the statue of the Virgin Mary, from out of the house, and they're building a new church in that area up here. This is Oasis there, the church is more that way, and they will be putting her up at a different place on their church. So what we have to do now is try to get these petroglyphs moved. If you see the markings on the stones here, there's another one in front here, and there's some at the very top up there. The Egyptians are going to try and cut them in such a way that even if they break, they won't disintegrate so much, they'll be able to put them back together.
Following the visit to the petroglyphs, it was then on to what by now can be considered our lookout point.
Now over this side is where you can get a really nice view of the entire airport site. Okay? From as far as you can see across the hill to back over to the church over there, all part of the airport site. And currently we're working in all areas that you can see. Okay? Now part of the work that we have to do also include the Yambu River, which is not directly on the side, but the river runs under it.
As usual, Following the tour, we allow the children to ask questions and make comments.
I'm just wondering what they use to blow up the lands.
You mean the mountains? They use a special type of dynamite they use. So it creates what we call an implosion. So when it explodes, rather than when they release it, rather than exploding like this all over the place, it would implode. It would come in, so it brings the mountain down inside. Right? It's a special kind of dynamite.
Excuse me, miss, what is that big machine over there for?
That you're seeing the top? That's a crane. That's for lifting things, lifting really heavy things. It's a crane. That is where the culverts are, where they're working on the culverts.
When the plane them touching off, they have to get a bigger tank, because if you say from down there to all up there, you have to get a bigger tank.
No, you're talking about the fuel? Yes, no for that. They will come here with enough fuel for them to be able to take off and fly wherever they're going. And if they don't have enough, they'll fuel right here. But what they're flying with, the size of their fuel tanks will be able to carry them. Yeah, there are airports in the world that have bigger airstrips than ours, and they manage.
I was wondering if that big hill will still be there when the Aga International Airport is building.
I mean, part of it will be, because the control tower is going to be up there. And the White House on the hill, so part of that would remain. But
So if the plane leaves St. Vincent and in Barbados and it didn't have enough gas, it will be able to come back?
no, they have to get gas in Barbados. How many of you want to see this airport finish? Good. Now, how many of you want to tell me why you want the airport to finish? How would it help you? You want to tell me why?
Because when I'm going to America, I won't have to stop at Barbados or Trinidad.
You want to fly straight?
I want the airport because it would be better instead, like if you have to fly to Canada, instead of have to stop off by Barbados, pay again and then go to Canada. Like to take a straight ride, just going to Canada from St. Vincent.
I really think them should have this airport, because I think this is a good idea to have a bigger airport instead of, so you could have more planes coming in and you could have more space. So they could use, people could run the taxi out here to get people to come. I think this is a good idea.
For those of you who have not yet seen what the inside of the terminal building looks like, here is your chance to view it. For more information about the Argyle International Airport, log on to www.svgiadc.com. On YouTube, type in IADC SVG or give us a call at 458-0333.